Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now with the main headlines. The UN concerned about vulnerability of Shias in Afghanistan. Hungarian traveller recounts his journey to the world cities, including the holy city of Najaf and Karbala. Popular Maddah Sayyid Shujaat Rizvi visits headquarters of Imam Hussein Media Group. Israel-Hamas conflict in Gaza rages as humanitarian crisis deepens and residents in dire need of water. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear viewers. This is Yunus Dawood and you're watching Shia Waves live from London, only on Imam Hussein TV 3. The head of the United Nations Assistance Mission in Afghanistan, the UNAMA, addressed the Security Council on Wednesday, emphasizing the critical human rights situation in Afghanistan, including systematic discrimination against women and girls, and the urgent need for continued international attention. Rosa Atenabovwe also expressed concern about the ongoing rise of systematic attacks against Shias and Hazaras in the southern Eastern Asian country and the vulnerability of Shias in Afghanistan. Highlighting the disproportionate risk faced by the Shia community, she mentioned recent attacks claimed by ISIL and the KAP. According to the UN official, 3 recent attacks against the Shia community killing 39 people were documented in the period covered by the Secretary General's latest report, and 3 further targeted attacks on Shia clerics in Herat killed 9 members of the Shia community. Earlier, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Human Rights voiced serious concern about the increase in the targeted attacks against Hazara Shias in Afghanistan and called for an independent investigation in this regard. The Hungarian daily newspaper, the Metropole, published a special report detailing the visit of its citizens, the prominent traveller and blogger Istvan Berger, to dozens of cities around the world, including the holy city of Najaf and the holy city of Karbala. The newspaper said in its report, which was translated by Karbala Center for Studies and Research and viewed by Shia Waves agency, that the Hungarian traveller and blogger Istvan Berger had made exploratory trips to 83 countries around the world, noting that Berger began his last journey in recent years from the famous city of Hong Kong to continue from it along the Silk Road, which extends from China through the former Soviet Central Asian and then into Iran, Iraq, and Turkey. The report continued that what attracted the traveller's attention were the people, the personal stories, and the natural landscapes he witnessed in the cities of Bukhara, Samarkand, and Kiev in Uzbekistan, the ancient historical cities of Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan, in addition to the holy cities of Mashhad in Iran and Najaf and Karbala in Iraq. The newspaper, which has been published since 1998, pointed out that the Silk Road was for centuries one of the most important commercial and cultural intermediary routes in the world, where there are current intense attempts to restore its former glory. The famous Maddah Sayyid Shujaat Rizvi, widely known as Farhan Ali Warith, visited the headquarters of Imam Hussein Media Group in the holy city of Karbala this week and met with some senior officials of the organization. Rizvi, originally from Karachi and very popular with Urdu speakers, participated in the show Ye Karbala Hai, This is Karbala, which is broadcasted live on Imam Hussein's Urdu channel. During this visit, Mohsen Mansouri, one of the officials of Imam Hussein Media Group, briefed the honourable guests on the activities of the organisation. A copy of the book Safinatul Hussein, alayhi salam, one of the books published by the Media Group, was presented as a memento to Sayyid Shujaat Rizvi and the accompanying delegation. It was also hosted by Hujjat al-Islam wal-Muslimin, Sheikh Mustafa Mohammadi, Secretary General of the Media Group. In this meeting, Sheikh Mustafa Mohammadi discussed the necessity and ways to facilitate the affairs of Pakistani pilgrims who visit the holy shrines in Iraq. It is worth mentioning that Farhan Ali Waris was one of the special guests of the Shia Voice television competition in London, which was broadcasted in English on Imam Hussein TV 3 last Ramadan. Let us round our respective views of today's headlines. United Nations concerned about the vulnerability of Shi'is in Afghanistan. Hungarian traveller recounts his journey to world cities, including the holy city of Najaf and the holy city of Karbala. Popular Maddah Sayyid Shujaat Rizvi visits the headquarters of Imam Hussein Media Group in the holy city of Karbala. Also tonight, Greece plans to legalize status of undocumented migrants to address labour shortage. At least 20,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks since October the 7th, according to Gaza's governmental media office. The death toll from Hamas's attacks on Israel stands at nearly 1,140. UN Security Council expected to vote on the Gaza resolution on December the 21st, after days of negotiations aimed at avoiding a US veto. The World Health Organization said on Thursday that northern Gaza has been left without a functional hospital due to a lack of fuel, staff and supplies. The United Nations Children's Fund, or the UNICEF, has said that on Tuesday that recently displaced children in the southern Gaza Strip are facing acute water shortages, accessing only 1.5 to 2 litres of water each day. Since the outbreak of the war, Israel has reportedly targeted medical facilities and thousands of unarmed civilians, causing the death of many children and women taking shelter in what is left of a ruined city. And now we'll continue with some short news. British researchers have developed a non-invasive reusable ECG vest that takes high-resolution images of the heart's electrical activity in 5 minutes. Combining this data and with cardiac MRI scans can better identify people at risk of future heart problems and could pave the way for more personalised treatment of patients with heart disease. Researchers from University College London, or the UCL, have given the 12-lead ECG a long overdue upgrade, developing an ECG-I vest that is non-invasive, time-efficient, reusable and provides high-resolution images of the heart's electrical activity. The researchers say the ECG-I vest could be an effective screening method to identify the risk of future cardiac problems. Aerial strikes by the Turkish Air Force's command destroyed 14 PKK-linked targets in northern Iraq on Wednesday, killing many members of the group, according to Turkey's National Defense Ministry. The targets were located in the Gara Hakruk and Kandali regions in northern Iraq and consisted of caves, shelters, bunkers and storehouses, according to the statement. Turkey claims the group is a threat to its security and its members allegedly conduct terrorist operations in Turkish cities. India has stepped up its surveillance measures amid a rise in reported cases of new coronavirus subvariant, according to officials. The country saw a total of 614 fresh infections, the biggest rise in the last 7 months. The current spike has been attributed to COVID subvariant GN.1, labelled a variant of interest by the World Health Organization on Tuesday. The active cases in the country have risen to 2,311, while 3 deaths have been reported in Kerala, according to Indian news reports, citing data from the Federal Health Ministry. 2 police personnel were injured when unidentified attackers threw explosives into the house of former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court Saqib Nasir in Garden Town on Wednesday night, Dawn newspaper reported. The attack was carried out at the main entrance where the police personnel were discharging their duty, but from the former CJP and his family members were in-house and remained unhurt. Mr. Nisar has been in controversy for his role in the ouster of then Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, who is campaigning to run for the upcoming presidential election to be held in Pakistan on the 8th of February of 2024. A new study shows that economic growth rates make a big difference when it comes to prospects for limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees as per the Paris Agreement. The study, conducted by the Institute for Environmental Science and Technology of the University of Autónoma de Barcelona, has shown that pursuing higher economic growth may jeopardize the Paris goals and leave no viable pathways for humanity to stabilize the climate. The study, however, has confirmed that slower growth rates make it more feasible to achieve the Paris goals. It focuses on the period between 2023 and 2030, crucial for keeping the goals of the Paris Agreement live, and the challenges the established assumption of high economic growth in existing scenarios of climate mitigation, since the growth itself is a major driver of greenhouse emissions. Greece is planning to legalize the status of thousands of migrants in order to address a severe labour shortage that is affecting key sectors of the country's growing economy. The move, which has caused internal strife within the ruling centre-right party, involves passing legislation to regularize the situation of approximately 30,000 undocumented workers. Critics of the bill argue that it poses risks and could make Greece an attractive destination for illegal migrants. However, proponents of the measure, including the country's migration and asylum minister, believe that it will not only elevate labour shortages but also promote social cohesion. The new law will enable migrants to legalise their status more easily by obtaining residence permits within 3 years instead of the previous 7, provided they can demonstrate employment. Greek government officials highlight that the integration of these invisible people will contribute to increased public revenue through employment, taxes and contributions. Unions acknowledge that many of the jobs being filled by foreign workers are ones that unemployed Greeks are reluctant to take. California regulators on Tuesday cleared the way for widespread use of advanced filtration and treatment facilities designed to convert sewage waste into pure drinking water that can be pumped directly into systems, feeding millions of household taps. More than a decade in the making, the regulations adopted by the State Water Resources Control Board represent a landmark in the quest to reclaim some of the hundreds of millions of gallons of waste discharge that flows out of the sea unused each year, supporters have said. A number of communities have for years been blending highly purified wastewater into aquifers and reservoirs before people can drink it, a practice known in the parlance of the re-engineers and resource managers as indirect potable reuse. In the sprawling Orange County suburbs south of Los Angeles, home to Disneyland and upscale beach towns, much of the drinking water supply for 2.5 million people comes from highly distilled waste that is used to recharge the groundwater basin and eventually is drawn back to the surface. The 69-page document approved on Tuesday provides a legal and regulatory framework for direct potential reuse, allowing the end product of advanced purification to be fed straight into drinking water systems without first making a stop in some kind of environmental buffer. We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves show. Let's remind our dear viewers of today's headlines. The United Nations concerned about the vulnerability of Shias in Afghanistan. Hungarian traveller recounts his journey to world cities, including the holy city of Najaf and the holy city of Karbala. Popular Maddah Sayyid Shuja'at Rizvi visits the headquarters of Imam Hussein Media Group in the holy city of Karbala. Israel and Hamas conflict in Gaza rages as humanitarian crisis deepens and residents in dire need of water. Greece plans to legalize the status of undocumented migrants to address labour shortage. And California approves rules for converting sewage waste to drinking water. You can view the latest news on Shia's website, and you can send news of your city or country to be published on our news agency. Contact us on numbers at the bottom of your screen. This is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching, and we pray to Allah the Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The hijab has been worn in practice for centuries. Even before Islam, the women of the Abrahamic line would cover themselves with a veil and would act with respect and honor.